everyone's chasing the same $1 million Porsches right now. You know, the Carrera GT, the 959, whatever shiny thing just set a record at auction, and hey, fair enough, those cars are legends. But here's the truth. The smartest collectors in 2025 aren't fighting over those halo cars. They're looking at the classics that are still undervalued. Not cheap, but underappreciated. The ones you can actually buy, actually drive, and maybe even make money on while you enjoy them. So here's the premise. When we talk about undervalued Porsches, we're looking at three key things. First, rarity. Cars that aren't overpriced into oblivion. Second, historical significance. The models that actually shaped Porsche's story. And third, and the most important factor, driving experience. Because let's be honest, if it doesn't make you grin like an idiot behind the wheel, then what's the point? And today we're going to show you three Porsche legends hiding in plain sight that still tick those boxes. They're not bedroom poster unobtainium, but they might just be the smartest Porsche buys of the decade. Now let's start with a car that most people used to overlook at Cars and Coffee, but is suddenly creeping onto collectors' radar, the Porsche 964. Built between 1989 and 1994, about 62,000 of these rolled out of Stuttgart, which in Porsche terms isn't rare, but definitely not you'll see 5 on your street either. Now here's the thing, while everyone's throwing millions at Carrera GTs and 959s, the 964 is still hovering in what I'll call the credit union loan zone. Some average examples sit around 70 to 90,000, and yes, the RS America has blasted up to the $150,000 club and the Roadsters around $121,000, but compared to what people are paying for air-cooled 911s 2 generations older, this is still Porsche's buy one before your financial advisor finds out deal. Now, we're going to be completely honest here, owning one isn't just gas and go. The 964 loves to remind you it was born at that awkward stage between Porsche's analog past and modern future. The translation means it comes with quirks. Timing chain updates are mandatory, rust spots are sneaky, and compression tests, well, let's just say don't skip them unless you like expensive surprises. Owning a 964 is like dating someone who's attractive, fun, but occasionally drains your bank account. Is it still worth it? Absolutely. But behind the wheel though, this car is magic. It's the bridge. You've got the raw, visceral feel of the classic 911, but with enough modern refinement that you don't feel like you're driving farm equipment. Power steering, ABS, actual heating that, works. The 964 was the first 911 you could daily without hating yourself, and yet, it still has that old school Porsche feedback where every shift and rev feels alive. Now, here's why we think it's still undervalued. The turbo market. 964 turbos are already starting to climb hard. Collectors are chasing them because they realize the 930 has gone to the moon and the 993 turbo is practically untouchable. That rising tide is pulling all the other 964s with it. So, buying a Carrera 2 or Carrera 4 today isn't just about enjoying an air-cooled Porsche, it's about holding an appreciating asset while your neighbor brags about his crypto portfolio tanking. The bottom line is this, the 964 isn't just a stepping stone between old and new 911s, it's a Porsche that still feels alive, still looks iconic, and still hasn't been fully priced into the stratosphere. That's why if you're looking for an undervalued classic right now, this is one of the smartest buys out there. Now, if the 964 was Porsche's awkward but lovable bridge, the 930 Turbo is the car that tried to kill half the 80s yuppie population. This was Porsche's first turbocharged 911, the one that gave birth to the legend, the poster, the nickname every insurance company secretly loved, the Widowmaker. Why? Well, simple. Imagine a rear-engine car with a ton of weight hanging over the back wheels. Now, bolt on a turbo that doesn't believe in linear power, and you press the gas, nothing. Nothing. Still nothing. And then, boom, all the boost arrives like a German sledgehammer at 4,000 RPM, and people loved it, even when they ended up facing backwards into a hedge. Today, the medium price for a 930 sits around $130,000, with pristine, low-mileage examples stretching past $250,000. Now, I know what you're thinking, that sounds expensive, but let's put it into perspective. This was the halo car of its era, the one every kid had on their bedroom wall, and compared to the limited run, overproduced collector cars, Porsche cranks out today with 4 different special editions per year, the 930's production looks downright reasonable. If you want the sweet spots in the market, there are 2 in particular. The early 3.0-liter cars from the mid-70s, which are raw, pure, and rare, and then you have the late G50 gearbox cars from the late 80s, which finally gave the turbo a transmission worthy of its torque. Those 2 variants have an extra layer of desirability baked in, and they're the ones collectors whisper about when they think nobody's listening. Here's the kicker though. Despite its legend, the 930 still feels undervalued. Think about it. Modern Porsche special editions are being pumped out in the thousands and instantly resold for 2 or 3 times MSRP, yet this car, the OG turbo that started it all, can still be had for under $150,000. That's insane. This is the car that defined the word turbo in pop culture. Half the reason your neighbor's SUV says turbo on the back today is because Porsche made it cool in the 70s. So, why buy one now? Because the 930 isn't just a Porsche, it's a cultural artifact. It's dangerous, dramatic, and just unhinged enough to make you feel like you're getting away with something every time you drive it. And as the rest of the turbo lineage keeps climbing in value, the 930's time in the spotlight is far from over. And finally, let's talk about the Porsche that started it all, the 356. Porsche's first production car, the one fairy Porsche built to show the world what his design philosophy really meant. Light, simple, beautiful, and absolutely connected to the road. Without the 356, there's no 911, no turbo legend, no billion-dollar auction scene. This is the root of the tree. Now, here's the surprising part. You can still get into a 356 for $90,000 to $150,000. Sure, that's not pocket change, but for Porsche's very first production car, it feels like theft compared to what people are paying for limited edition modern cars with fake heritage badges. The market swings a lot depending on spec. Speedsters, Carreras, and anything with racing provenance shoot up to crazy money, while a clean coupe or cabriolet can still sit in that sweet sub $120,000 range. And then you have the outlaw scene. Modified 356s built by guys like Rod Emery have created a whole new category of desirability. Take a standard 356, give it a bit more punch, a bit more stance, and maybe some subtle hot rod flair, and suddenly you've got a car that purists used to clutch their pearls over, but now collectors happily pay premiums for. It's proof that the 356 is flexible. It can be a concours queen, a vintage racer, or a rebellious little outlaw. Here's why we think it's one of the safest buys in Porsche land. The market has been stable for decades. These cars don't crash, they don't bubble, they just appreciate slowly and steadily like a Swiss savings account. You might not double your money overnight, but you also won't wake up wondering why your 6-figure car is now worth a nice set of patio furniture. And let's be honest, this isn't just about numbers. Buying a 356 means you're literally owning a piece of Porsche history. Every curve, switch, drive, it's a reminder that you're sitting in the car that launched an empire. It's not just a Porsche, it's the Porsche. And if you're the kind of collector who cares about legacy, not just lap times or auction hammers, the 356 might be the most undervalued gem you can buy right now. So let's wrap this up. 3 very different Porsches, 3 very different flavors of value. The 964 gives you modern usability without losing that air-cooled soul. The kind of car you could daily if you really wanted to flex on your coworkers. The 930 Turbo is the visceral icon, the drama queen that tries to kill you but makes you feel alive in the process. And the 356, well, that's pure heritage, Porsche history distilled into sheet metal and soul. Now, here's the thing. While everyone else is chasing million-dollar hyper collectibles, these are the cars that still let you live in the story without selling your house. They're not just fun to drive, they're real-world assets, and unlike stocks or whatever digital asset your cousin keeps trying to shill you on WhatsApp, these aren't going to vanish overnight. They've proven stability, they've proven upside, and most importantly, they still make your heart race every time you turn the key. But we want to hear from you. Which one of these 3 would you buy today? Do you think they still represent real value in 2025, or have their moments already passed? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, because the Porsche community is never shy about having an opinion, especially when someone's wrong. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into undervalued Porsche legends, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more collector car insights, and share this with that one friend who still thinks their Tesla is a classic. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.